So I want to briefly recover air terminal connection because there's a couple of, I don't know if it's errors or just sort of snafus we're getting into with mechanical groups. So we might have to backpedal a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. I'm going to go to a level 11 plan here. Sorry, this is a reflected ceiling plan. Again, I've edited my view range so that the cut plane is still at 7.6. The top is the level above that I've created. So this will actually go to level 17. It doesn't really matter because you can change the offset of the view depth. But just in case you're not seeing your ducts or whatever, then that's probably why your view depth is not there. Or you have a generic model import for your Rhino file, so you can either turn your masses off or you can turn your imported categories off. And that should help. So here I have an air terminal, and by the way, for air terminals we're going to Systems Air Terminals, and you don't have any loaded on default. So we're using the 24 by 24 return and supply diffusers with a 12 by 12 connection, which is pretty standard. If you think that in a typical commercial environment, these supply diffusers are actually sized by the ceiling tiles. So the ceiling tiles are on a grid, and these will typically fall into that grid somewhere, so they just sort of replace one of those ceiling tiles or half a ceiling tile or something. Architectural systems are much more advanced now, but it's a good starting point to understand why we're using this size. But if you don't have those, if you don't know where to load them, you need to go to insert, or if it tells you, do you want to insert a family now, go ahead and hit yes. You'll get to this dialog, and you need to navigate to the mechanical folder, then MEP, airside components, because this is dealing with air, and then it's under air terminals, and you'll find this supply diffuser and return diffuser, and you can control click them and load them in at the same time if you want. But anyways, I've clicked this, and I've placed one here. We don't have to worry about the flow, but I placed this on level 11 plenum. And I know a lot of people are having issues sort of seeing what's going on. Again, I recommend creating a section view. So you go to View, Section, and then you just create a view right here. You can flip the view with this little toggle. And then when you go to that view, you'll see that it will probably be like your entire building. So you can just grab the crop handles and bring it down. And then you might need to change it to a medium display mode so that you know what's going on with the depth of the ducts, otherwise they'll show up as lines. But this is currently a group that I'm modeling, and it seems to have a bit of an issue with using the connect into button. So I'll go over briefly how you can figure out how deep your air terminals need to be to connect into the ducts as they are, and I recommend just going and changing this to, like, I don't know, -2 feet for the offset of the air terminal, so you can see that it's actually 2 feet below my level 11 plenum. And now I can sort of drag this up, and then actually I don't want to connect into that, and I can try and connect it into it, right? But it's a little bit hard to figure out exactly where it's connecting into. So I think a faster route is to change this still to like -1 or -2 feet, and then I actually want to ungroup all this stuff because it seems to have a ton of difficulty connecting air terminals to groups, because these are grouped as like duct systems, and it tries to like shoot all over the place. So if you're having trouble with it, that's my recommendation. Backpedal a little bit, ungroup your elements, and then we'll repaste them at all the levels we need to. But here you can see that I can select the air terminal, and you can always change, you can change this to a return, and if it changes to return, that will end up being pink because it will have a single slash through it. So just be aware of your different systems. It also helps you a lot in plan to see an X versus a slash, because you know which ones are return and which ones are supply. But if I click the air terminal, I can go ahead and click this connect into button. If it's part of a group, it doesn't give me that connect into button. I don't know why. Maybe there's a workaround, but I haven't figured it out. But now we can just select this main duct run, and here you can see if we go into the level 11 that's perfectly connected here. I'm going to undo that, and then I'm going to change this to 0 to show you why we need to offset this. So if I click that air terminal and I hit connect into and I click that duct, it's going to tell me that I don't have enough room. So what changing the elevation does, if I change this to like -3 feet, it really doesn't matter. This is just a troubleshoot, right? It's to say, if I connect into this, I need this much room for it to connect into the middle. You can now sort of move these down if you want to, and then you can move these up with just the arrow key. So like this would probably be a pretty good, way to change it. And now you can actually figure out what your offset is for all of your air terminals. So you can right click, you can select all instances in the view if you're in a level 11 ceiling plan, change them all to -10 inches. You can even create a new level here and place them all at that level and then array that up so you know that every floor will be the same. But then you can go ahead and group these things. So I would suggest just doing one floor as a non-group and then regrouping it. And if you do need to edit it, go ahead and get your air terminals done pretty much before you group it, and then we can array it. So sorry that there's that error. I don't really know how to fix it very well, but that's the workaround, to ungroup it, delete all the groups that you have arrayed, and then manage those connections, and then re-paste it to the floors that you need.